Coming up on this weekend's broadcast, that moving target on the waters of the United States. Hello, everyone. We welcome you to the broadcast. It's great to be back with you, as always. You know, lawyers are making some money on Wotus.
They certainly are, Max. It has been a busy period in the past 3 months with regard to the waters of the U.S. rule. It's a convoluted situation as things sit right now across the country. Some folks are under it, some folks aren't. I had the chance to catch up with Mary Thomas of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association for an update.
I think we got kind of spoiled in 2021 and 2022 because there just wasn't a lot happening in Wotus world, right? We had a proposed rule from the Biden administration, but really in October 2022, things started to pick up a lot of speed. So we had oral arguments at the Supreme Court. We saw the Biden administration finalize its definition, and pretty soon after, 3 different cases were filed in federal courts across the country. One in Texas, where a preliminary injunction was granted in 2 states, another in North Dakota, where a preliminary injunction was granted in 24 states, and another in Kentucky, where that motion for a preliminary injunction was actually denied. So quite varying takes and varying opinions from courts across the country, and those cases continue to move through the litigation process.
For producers out there on the ground, what does this mean in practice? What rule are they falling under?
If you live in one of those 26 states that's subject to a preliminary injunction, action is normal, right? Nothing new. Whatever features were jurisdictional are still jurisdictional, and the features that are not jurisdictional still aren't jurisdictional, right? However you were operating in 2022 is how you should still be operating. But if you live in one of the 24 states that is not protected by a preliminary injunction, the Biden rule is the law of the land. So you need to have an extra conversation with someone before you start any kind of water infrastructure project this spring or summer.
Mary Thomas, the Biden rule being the law of the land, does it look like that's here to stay, at least for the time being?
I think that's a great question. So Congress has already acted with the Congressional Review Act to pass a resolution of disapproval of the Biden rule. I think that sends an important message not only to the White House, but to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is actively considering Sackett versus EPA, which is the 4th time they've contemplated the definition of Wotus. So the decision in the Sackett case could certainly have an impact on the future of the Biden rule.
That was Mary Thomas Hart, Chief Counsel at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. And here's where NCBA highlights that Wotus rule being in effect. If you are in the gray states on this map, that new Biden rule is the law of the land for your state. If you're in the green states, you're exempt for the time being.